Vocation by Rabindranath Tagore. So children, we are here with a new chapter, Vocation. First of all, before I tell you what is the meaning of vocation, I would just like to shed some light on Rabindranath Tagore. Who was Rabindranath Tagore? Everybody has heard his name. Every Indian must know his name. Rabindranath Tagore was a Bengali poet and he was the first Indian to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. He won the award in 1930. Now, vocation we are talking about. Vocation means a career or a profession which one would love to follow. Now, in this poem, children, we are going to talk about like when you go into the market or you go to any place, you see people, okay? You see many people at different places in different kinds of format, in a different kind of a scenario, or in a different way of working. It can be anybody. It can be a teacher or a doctor or a professor or an engineer. It can be even the simple people. Everybody is making earning, and everybody is earning his livelihood in different ways. It can be a mason making a wall. It can be a tailor stitching clothes. It can be a potter who sits right near my house and he's making pots. So it can be anybody. Here, as you will read further, you will come to know that the child doesn't want to become an engineer or a doctor or a professor or a teacher or a pilot, but he has very simple likings, simple things he wants to do. He wants to just roam about, like being a watchman. Over here it is mentioned a watchman. Or he wants to just become that little hawker who sells, like sometimes it can be even selling vegetables, or the bangle wala which has been mentioned over here. Or he just wants to be the little gardener who comes to his house or the next door house and he gets all wet and dirty. So this poem is about simple thinkings that a little boy has. He doesn't have very high career hopes, but these are his hopes. But even this is his hope. He wants to be something like this. When the gong sounds 10 in the morning and I walk to school by our lane, every day I meet the hawker crying, "Bangles, crystal bangles." There is nothing to hurry him on. There is no road he must take, no place he must go to, no time when he must come home. I wish I were a hawker, spending my day in the road, crying, "Bangles, crystal bangles." Now see here, this little child over here. Here, who is the speaker or who is the one who is addressing and talking? It's a little child. A brain, a thinking of a child, a small child. And what does he want to do? As soon as the gong sound 10. Now that's a typical time of the school time that they have shown, that the bell goes at 10. And whenever he's walking to school and he hears whom? The bangle wala, and he's saying, "Crystal bangles, come and please take my nice shiny bangles." Now there are few lines which they have described over here. There is nothing to hurry him on. What do you mean by nothing to hurry him on? Means there is nothing that he has to go home and jaldi and do something like that. He is aram se. He is taking his own time. He wants to sell his bangles. There is no road he must take on. He doesn't have a definite road or a direction or some address or pata that he has to go to. And he has no time and place he must go to, and no time when he must come home. और फिर इन लोग का कोई आने और जाने का time ना. Why the boy is selling that? Because see why he is selling? I have to reach my school at 10 and I have to come back at a particular time. So maybe that thing is also worrying him, or he's just thinking, I can have a more leisurely life. Now, if I become a doctor or a teacher, it will be like इत्ते बजे जाओ और इत्ते बजे आओ. He finds this profession more alluring or more lucrative, मतलब और बहुत अच्छा उसको लग रहा है. So what does he want to become in this first stanza? He wants to become a bangle wala, just crying away, just simply saying on the road, "Bangles, crystal bangles." So you all have understood this part? Or when at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, I can see through the gate of that house the gardener digging the ground. He does what he likes with his spade. He spoils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes him to task if he gets baked in the sun or gets wet. I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. Now what is the next thing that this little boy wants to do? That is also all his vocation. This is the work he wants to do. He wants to become a bangalwala, or he wants to become the gardener when at 4 he is returning. Now see, again here there is a definite time. At 10 he has to go, the bell rings at 10, so he should reach there, and here he has to come back at 4. So again there is a time limit which has been set. So he doesn't like this time limit. He wants apni marzi se aao, apni marzi se jao. So he's telling now, I want to become this gardener who's digging the ground. He does what he likes with the spade. You know na, that spade is that thing, this is like this. जो आप shovel जैसा होता है, you play in the sand or in the mud, it is used, okay? And he says that he spoils his clothes with dust. धूल से मिट्टी से उसका कपड़ा खराब हो जाता है. Nobody takes him to task. What do you mean by nobody takes him to task? Means nobody questions him, nobody asks him कि तुमने ये क्यों किया, ऐसे क्यों नहीं किया, है ना, something like that. Why not? क्यों किया, काम के लिए नहीं. Sorry, हाँ, I'll go back. Nobody questions him if he gets baked in the sun or he gets wet. अब देखिए, जो उससे काम करा रहा है गार्डनर से, तो कोई ये नहीं पूछेगा. इतने आजकल रहमदिल, there are no people who will say, okay, enough, you have worked enough. Nobody asks him. He is baked in the sun. Baked in the sun के माने अब वो केक नहीं बन गया. Baked in the sun के माने he has worked the whole day, और काम करते करते एक तरह से कहा जाए कि he has lost his color. You know, when people work in the sun, you get tan. So that is why they've used, or he gets wet. Now definitely if you're going to be a gardener, you have to use all the kinds of pipes, and you will have sprinklers, and if you're a very big gardener, you make fountains, the work is also more. So definitely you will be baked also, and you'll get wet also. So again he wants to become a gardener. And last but not the least, just as it gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed, I can see through my window the watchman walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely, and the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. The watchman swings his lantern and walks with a shadow at his side, and never once goes to bed in his life. I wish I were a watchman, walking the street all night, chasing the shadows with my lantern. Now again here what he wants to become. Now this is the most toughest part, I suppose. See, the poem has started with the time of morning, then we have come to 4 o'clock, and now we have come to the night time. Now what he wants to do here, he said, I wish I was a watchman. I could, see, because I see the watchman going up and down my lane, and there he is walking up and down, and the street lamp jo hota hai, this is your street lamp. So it feels to him like it's like a big giant with one eye. Na lamp mein aise ek hi lamp hota na, to he's telling the street lamp resembles like a giant with one eye on its head, and he's watching everybody, and he's swinging his baton. This baton is there, usko swing karta hai. Sometimes he says jaagte raho, sometimes he says sab log so jao, like sehri ke time pe sometimes they wake up people, but actually it's not like that, but it is there. And he with his shadow at his side. Now shadow at his side ka matlab hai, he is constantly alone and doing his job alone, and never go, matlab apne साय का भी वो पीछा करता है. Okay, you understanding what do you mean by that? It means that very diligently, very hard, in a hard working way, he is doing his job. He gets up, he walks, he takes a look around कि कहीं से कोई आ ना जाए, and he never goes to bed. He cannot sleep because he has to watch the people. And what he says, I wish I was a watchman. I could walk down the street and then chase the shadow with my lantern. And sometimes, you know the shadow, na? You are forward and then आप उसके आगे आगे भाग रहे होते. It looks like you are chasing yourself. So he would prefer to be that. So at the end, children, it's just simple that this little boy wants to do just simple things in life. Okay? Like being the bangle seller or being the gardener. There is no time in all these things. They come at their own time. They take their own places. They go to different places. There are no addresses for them. He wants to do something which is not time bound, or it's not profession bound, or it is something like that. At his will. This is what the poem teaches us, and anybody can become anything. And this boy wants these simpler things in life. Now, will it be fruitful for him or no? That we don't know. But these are the things that he wants to do in life, and this is what Rabindranath Tagore has said finally over here. So I hope you have understood this. Happy learning.